Yo, it's the art of the deal. I'm here to reveal thick bass rumbling truth. I unseal government lock. They playing games with the block. Democrats in the kitchen stirring the pot. Shut down like a factory. Gears ain't turning. Pelosi's got the script, but the page is burning. Insider moves, stock tips churning. Husband in the shadows, profits confirming. Running the clock, but the clock don't tick. Filibuster funk, they tricks too slick. Caught in the act, receipts don't miss. Paper trails longer than the grocery list. Shut down, showdown. They can't keep the crown. Insider trades got the streets breaking down. Shut down, showdown.
Oh my God. Good morning, good Monday to the blockchain basement. People of the world, we are back in wonderful fashion. And of course, everyone cheated their bags last week, running away, scared like little limp-wristed bitches. But we are in the blockchain basement for a reason, and that reason is beyond money. Now, it is a massive week unfolding in front of us for basically crypto and every single market across the planet. We have officially entered Thunderdome as stimulus checks are now on the table. The end of quantitative tightening coming on December 1st, and adding to the Federal Reserve balance sheet, aka quantitative easing, is all but assured. But on top of it, Stimmy Check 2.0 season is upon us. And for the people that thought that there was going to be any sort of monetary responsibility coming to the United States, you are wrong. We are in the collapse up. This is a hyperinflationary environment, and there is no stopping this train. So let's get into all the noise, all the juice. And I did add to my portfolio pretty heavily on Sunday. Feeling good about it. Shout out to the chat here. Let's pull up the chat and see the real ones coming up there. Hermanov. Ninja Glock, good morning. Fade and TradFi, Crypto Knight, good to see you. DeFi, Crypto and Airdrops, Mr. Veteran Crypto, might be, oh my God, wait a minute, speaking of the devil, oh my God, there you are. How you doing, dude?
What's up, brother? No, just messing around with Canton, just trying to get exposure any way I can.
Yep. I know it. When I'm still, I downloaded Kraken, but I still want to get exposure to that. Absolutely. I still want to get exposure to that. Make sure to give me a follow, you guys. Let's pull it up here. We are on Twitter at Druth Crypto, and I'm live here right there. I did change my profile picture to the laser eyes in confluence and consolidation, really helping the Sydney Sweeney movement continue to take fire. So absolutely love that. And also, you know what? If you didn't see the weekly video on Sunday that came out from Kelly Kellum, there's a lot of very concise research that went into this video that shows me a much different playground for where this bull market truly is headed, and I am super excited for it. I want to know from you, are you now laddering out of this market at this time from where we're at right now? We are squarely in Bitcoin season. There is no altcoin season really going on. It's shown here pretty clearly on CoinMarketCap that we are at a 29 for fear and greed. It is firmly within Bitcoin controlling the market for the time being, and the market cap has fallen from $4 trillion to $3.5 trillion. And there's a lot of people that really are not feeling very, very good about the crypto market. I did drop some updates on exactly what projects I added to my portfolio into the Discord as well for the Druth portfolio. After my consolidation a few months back, I have now opened the levies to exposure to some very, very interesting Solana auxiliary DeFi plays, and I'll let you know about the stock that I moved into this morning. Now, this is a long-term stock. It's kind of a small stock play, but it is called Nano Nuclear Energy, NNE. So I did open up a position on NNE this morning. Liked seeing it tap its head on the middle point of this shelf.
Is that the one that's making like mini reactors or something like that?
Yes, it is. Mini nuclear reactors. I think that some influx of Americans' industrial input into nuclear energy is going to hoist nano nuclear energy. But there's also that subsidiary with Mercedes-Benz, I believe, as well, with small nuclear reactors. And this is kind of a chaotic, just random play. I'm adding to my stock portfolio right now. Pat, do you remember the SHOT stock that I was all about? And I still hold the damn thing. Look at what they did to me. Look what they did to my boy. It's not even called SHOT anymore. It's called Bonk. Okay? The reason why is because Bonk is now, they built a treasury of a fucking meme coin and ruined this chart. Like ruined it. I'm not down like
It got
heinously
ruined.
bad, but this is a bad play. And I'm leaving it. Yes, it's probably going to go to zero. They're going to fail. I hate everything about it. Absolutely disgusting. But this is why we can't have nice things, Mike. Okay. This is why we can't have nice things. Are you going to be doing the liquidity pool on Canton Network? Is that what you're looking around for? Or were you still looking for?
That's my play on Canton. So, you know,
Okay.
as you know, we've done a couple of deep dives over the past
Mhm.
couple of weeks on Canton.
Mhm.
And it again, I ran across it, 2-3 weeks ago, and it popped up on rwa.xyz and
Mhm.
had like $400 billion of TVL, whereas Ethereum only had 12.
Mhm.
And so that,
Mhm.
of course, my eyes, went saucer,
Right.
and I started digging into it. But yeah, I mean, basically, and I asked you this morning to kind of do a little bit of an analysis on the price and
Mhm.
market cap, and kind of where we're at with like token supply and things like that. But on Uniswap, it looks like they're not live yet.
Right.
But I mean, token just went live today,
Right.
so they're
Right.
probably building up liquidity for the pools right now. But yes, it took me a long way to get there. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use Canton with the mass use it's going to get in RWAs and the flywheel effect
Right.
to try to earn with it in
Right.
DeFi.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to tell exactly how high or low this project will go. It came out today. It's having a little bit of sell, but there's no VC insiders that have giant bags that are just rubbing their hands together to dump on everyone, which I find refreshing. And we did a
Team doesn't
video
even have
on this that kind of lays out exactly what it is here. The BlackRock's next crypto target leaked. Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying the team didn't keep any tokens. No
Right.
VCs have any tokens. The only people that have tokens are node operators. So
Absolutely.
there's a yeah.
I found that nice. I mean, and really like seeing Microsoft, IBM, and I mean, there's a lot of other organizations that are doing test transaction on this. I am sitting here clicking buttons on Kraken trying to FOMO in. Admittedly, absolutely. We just got to be careful about watching for that initial rollout and sell off. But let's keep rolling in because I know that the big talk of the town is these stimmy checks, right? The Daddy Trump $2,000 tariff dividend stimmy check. So the last time the U.S. government gave out money, we were in kind of a different situation, right? A little bit different situation, but it's been kind of a hectic week already. The White House put out this post: all money left over from the $2,000 payments made to low and middle income U.S. citizens from the massive tariff income pouring into the country from foreign countries, which will be substantial, will be used to substantially pay down the national debt, using the tariff income to try to fight back against the national debt. But the debt problem, the debt spiral looks worse and worse as we go on because guess what? He rolled out 50-year mortgages. This is huge for everyone that wants to take advantage.
Yay!
Well, are you excited about this? Right? Next step,
I
100
own my
year.
place. I don't have a mortgage. I bought
Yeah,
cash, and so I don't have to worry about it. But they have to do this. I mean, look
right,
at the cost of freaking mortgages right now with
right,
interest
right.
rates and inflation. It's insane.
Well, and it's something where it's like, if we think that people are not going to do this, but I mean, the next step, probably 400-year mortgages. We're talking 5,000-year
Your kids will
mortgages
be
going
paying off
on.
your mortgage, and their kids will be paying off your mortgage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, this is something where people are like, oh, there's no way I'd do this. But this is the same country where 30 million adults basically send money to a Nigerian prince, right?
Hmm.
So there is a lot of idiocy in the United States. And if you give Americans the option to lower their monthly payment by, say, $200 or $300, they're going to go in on it. I'm sorry to say, it's just the reality of our situation. They're going to go in on it. They're going to take advantage of it. And the dastardly reality is, 5,000-year mortgages, though I joke about them, this is going to be the situation. Finally paid it off. You got your little homestead being, planted in between giant skyscrapers and Teslas flying over you 200 years from now. It is a situation where Bitcoin is my escape from this idiocy, and it backs my original thesis of being so blindly brutal about making sure that I control my Bitcoin on Arculus cold storage wallet. It's the ethos of Bitcoin and having control of my own value. Bitcoin isn't necessarily going parabolic. It's rising along with the devaluation of the dollar, right? Where the less valuable the dollar is, the more valuable Bitcoin becomes. And it just keeps moving. Sack Nasty, good to see you. Finally, been a while, buddy. And you know what this means?
You are banned.
Excellent. Where are you in the chat? Had to get him. It's been a while since I've been able to do that. I hit up
Get nasty out of here.
I know. And then I hit up Isaac to find out. I think he's already been, moved out to the to boot camp. So he's gonna try to come out and say hello, but they grow up so quick, and now he's out. He's got a little girlfriend and everything. It's just terrible.
Dude, he's actually gonna have he's gonna have a good time if he has the right mindset, and I think he does. I honestly, like, training is some of the most fun that you're gonna have in the military.
Yeah, and I think when I first met him, he reminded me of myself, but he was on the edge of falling for the wokeism, and then he just got to spend a year and a half, 2 years watching me crash out about macroeconomics and culture. And I think he's going into it with the right head on his shoulders. But back to the chaos going on the news this week. So we have Trump saying insurance money should go to the people. Tariffs will begin paying the national debt down, as he said, and there's no more money to insurance companies. So these are some interesting movements. Insurance agencies might be catching the broad end of the stick on this, and kind of further clarify what's going on with the stimulus check. This is worth just noting. Okay, so the government now has not officially enacted this plan for a $2,000 stimulus check as things sit right now, as of November 10th, the time of this filming. There are viral rumors going on. Trump's recent Truth Social post proposing these payments to be funded by import tariffs and the revenues to offset the economic pressures. But if advanced, the plan would need to involve Congress. This is the thing, is that Congress is still involved with the decision of this by passing a budget amendment, and it's going to have to go through the IRS to distribute the funds via direct deposit or checks. Okay, this is potentially starting late November. That's kind of the soonest time frame that we could look at a $2,000 stimulus hitting the bank accounts, the hands of the altcoin degens, the Bitcoin maximalists to YOLO back into the market. So that's the soonest time frame we could be looking out for this. This would be drawing from an approximately $80 billion worth of tariff collections that have happened since July of 2025 to cover up to 150 million recipients. 150 million recipients, not the 350 million that live in the United States in total. Eligibility would target U.S. citizens specifically, excluding high-income individuals as well. This is being adjusted, basically gross incomes over $80,000 for a single person, or if you're breaching over $160,000 as a couple, based on prior stimulus criteria, you might not qualify for that $2,000 check. And the automatic qualification for those who received the pandemic era payments. But this government shutdown, yes, it's still going on. That's a whole nother bag where essentially Democrats and Republicans are voting on this. And if we want to dive into it a little bit deeper, I think we should, just to understand what the hell's actually going on, because there's a lot of viral memes. There's a lot of viral posts going on right now. So to open the U.S. government once again amid this partial shutdown that we're going through right now, it started on September 23rd. So it's been a little bit of time. It's actually a historic time frame on how long the government's been shut down so far. And the Senate must first complete the final passage, bipartisan stopgap, and fund this bill, right? That's on the table right now. This is advancing via a 60-40 procedural vote on November 9th. So potentially after resolving the debate, the amendments like Senator Rand Paul's hemp proposal, of course, Rand Paul's got to inject hemp into the deal. It's, and I understand hemp and CBD or whatever, it's fine, but there's always more, right? Followed by the House approval. Speaker Mike Johnson plans to reconvene with members within 36 hours for votes. And finally, President Trump's signature. Majority Leader John Thune aims for a final Senate action early this week. with the House targeting long sessions mid to late week and expedite the process before Thanksgiving travel disruptions begin to worsen, right? So they're essentially trying to reopen the government before the absolute chaos of Thanksgiving travel commences. We already have issues with travel right now with the government shutdown. And things are going to get exponentially worse if the government is shut down into the holidays. That's going to be a very, very bad situation, which they would like to avoid on both sides. Given the bipartisan momentum, though, GOP optimism and urgency from impacts of these flight cancellations and SNAP collections ain't got no money. Resolution within this week by November 16th is highly likely as things sit right now, though minor delays from the likes of Chuck Schumer are likely to arise and amendments could push it into early next week. Now, Mike, I kind of want to get your take on this. I was enjoying the government shutdown personally. You know, but you come from military, you know, you might have a different, how do you view this government shutdown? Is this just more power posturing from, you know, the GOP and the Democrats, who honestly, they hate each other, but is it a potential that they could see the Thanksgiving holidays coming up and that might be the better driving factor, and eventually Democrats would be started to be blamed by their supporters if the SNAP benefits don't show up? Like, what do you make of this whole government shutdown situation?
Do they hate each other?
I don't think so. They say they do, though. They say they do on the mirror of, you know, what the public sees, but
yes.
It does, you know, they're probably working out inside deals in the background. You know, they got aunts, they got uncles that want to make the move. It's a nice sweatshirt. You really have been getting a little bit cozy out there in your cabin here.
Oh yeah. It's getting chilly.
We got a very different and I will admit, I am now this is VMAX Drew.
Dapper thing going on.
Yeah, it's VMAX Drew. If anyone plays Pokemon, you know when an animal evolves, you know, they become a little bit extreme. This is the VMAX Drew version. Okay, so I am here and have no fears. I'm having fun with it. But
so honestly, what I think is going on with, you know, like the shutdown and stuff like that, I actually liked it. I mean, it's double-edged, of course. You know, there's a whole lot of liquidity that wasn't flowing because the government shut down. You know, obviously government employees, you know, all the different, you know, money that's divvied out to different organizations, you know, all that faucet was shut off. So that's what was affecting the markets, you know, here in the US and, you know, around the world, you know, respectively. But
yeah,
I think that it's not a good look. And, you know, you saw what happened in New York with, I might even try to pronounce the dude's name.
Money or whatever.
Yeah, I got elected as mayor, like the openly socialist that, you know, AOC's, you know, touching herself to. And, you know, I'm sure she's loving it. Yeah. But there's midterms that are coming up. There's the holidays that's coming up. And I think that it would have been a really bad look to roll into Thanksgiving and Christmas, you know, with
absolutely,
you know, SNAP benefits aren't going out.
Right.
You know, if you agree with them or not, you know, having hungry people during the holidays is not a good look if you're trying to get elected, you know, or reelected. So
absolutely.
It's all political posturing.
The funniest thing about the New York City mayor-elect Mamdani is he's not going to follow through with his $30 minimum wage promise, it looks like. And he's also already asking for money. Authority. Right.
He promised like free groceries and
everything's going to be free.
Rent.
We're going to take control of everything, guys.
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
Rides. Everything's free.
Everything's free. Communist utopia idea.
They'll stay here. They'll pay it. Yeah. They're happy to.
And sure, they can get them voted in through a bunch of illegal immigrants that don't have the right to vote to begin with because they are not abiding by federal law of elections. But once you actually get there, you have no bite, right? You have a lot of bark on the front end, and sure, you can get elected, but you have no bite when it comes to turning New York into a socialist hellhole. And that shutdown showdown, I want to give a shout out. I have become unstoppable. I'm going to admit it. Okay. I have become a little bit unstoppable. I can now create music on a whim. Okay. I will show you this. So you can create your own music with Solana. I use Solana to do it with on Suede AI. And I'm basically able to create custom songs with prompts. You have to know how to prompt it and everything like that. But essentially, I'll be able to make any intro video, outro video I want. I'm also going to be making music videos with this, mocking the absolute idiocy that is going on in the world today. So if you're interested in making your own music, if you're a content creator, or, here's another angle that I've used Suede AI for, is getting ideas for how AI would do the timing of lyrics, because I have my own human idea of where to do the timing of lyrics on my album that I'm writing right now. But I'm actually using Suede AI to see what it comes up with. And then, I've actually decided to come somewhere in the middle on a few different songs because it has a different viewpoint out of it. So if you are a musician out there, if you are a creator out there, I do recommend checking it out. It is at AI Suede on Twitter. Very, very cool tweet, very cool team, very cool tool. I don't even know where the tokens chart looks like right now. I'm using it as a literal tool to make me basically unstoppable as a content creator. Now, someone who must be stopped, James Wynn. We're going to talk about this.
God.
This is crazy. Did you see this, Matt?
Where's this guy getting all this money to throw away? I mean, I know he owns a bunch of real estate, but it's like, holy shit. Like, isn't it like tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars that he's lost?
It's about $400 million in the span of, I think, like 5 months or something like that, I believe. Now the lore is that he came up with $1 billion by being early to Pepe or some crazy meme coin, right? That's the lore. But this tweet
explains a lot.
Yeah, this tweet actually leads me to believe he might be ready to deploy the other 600 million. He says he's going all in, going to be completely and utterly honest here. Doubt it. And this is the God's honest truth. Have sold my entire crypto portfolio. Oh my God. Excluding long-term Bitcoin spot that he will never sell. Okay. And in the last few hours, I've deployed all my stables 30%. And so if he's saying 30% of what I think he had left, I mean, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, throwing it all on top of his short positions. No joke. As all in as he can get, pedal to the metal, money where my mouth is. I'm either going to make hundreds of millions of dollars from my leveraged short positions, or I will go bust. If I go bust, it's fine. I'll take my BTC spot, cold storage, delete my X account, and live off of my real estate and other passive incomes. Still driving off into the sun and set my wife and 4 kids. However, if I'm right, which I truly believe he is, at least he's got conviction, right? At least he got conviction. If this is real,
no shortage of conviction on that guy's part,
right? We will go lower than $67 or 67K to 92K. If I'm wrong, I delete my account. Right? I want to go actually check in on him. Let's go check in on Mr. James Wynn. How do I find him here? What is his X account at? Here it is. Oh my God.
Crypto Knight says he's on asking for money now.
He follows me. That he should listen to me. He follows me. You should probably listen to me, James. Let's see if he's I mean, he makes me laugh with all his memes. He does make me laugh, but when I learned about some of the background about the guy, just be careful about who you're following out there. Was that a cat? I just saw you got a cat hanging out with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I found her outside my cabin, dude. She's like freaking a mystery cat.
So you dropped the picture. I spent some time.
Well, I'm 45 minutes from like the nearest town, and at 2 a.m, I'm sleeping, hear a noise outside. I thought it was a pack rat. I went outside to kill it, and freaking there's a kitten underneath my freaking Airstream. And so I give it some food, and she followed me inside and been here ever since.
That's wholesome. That's absolutely wholesome. I didn't know the backstory because I asked to see everyone's dogs, and then you dropped a picture of your cat. So I spent like 5 minutes talking about your cat. I can't remember whose show.
I never would have gone out and gotten a cat, but she found me, and I couldn't find her a home, and I'm not just going to dump her outside. She'll get by a mountain lion or something.
Well, it's an interesting time to be alive. We got James Wynn just doubling down on his shorts. This stimmy checks, the quantitative easing conversation. I really like this site bringer. It's at _the profit on X. Talking about a watershed moment in the evolution of American economic reflexivity. The tariff dividend is a structural reconfiguration of how fiscal power is transmitted and to the electorate. To strip it down to its essence, the surface narrative is fiscal patriotism meets populist opinionism. Very, very interesting concepts here, where Trump is reframing Protectionism as profit distribution, tariffs once seen as inflationary taxes on imports are being rebranded as a mechanism for wealth and redistribution from global producers to domestic consumers. Economic nationalism in fiscal drag. Very interesting thought approach to this. The deeper mechanism here is synthetic money through fiscal loops at a structural level. This is a tariff dividend, operates as a fiscal liquidity injection through trade friction. But here's what's really happening, in his opinion. Tariffs are taxes on imported goods. They pull in nominal dollars to the treasury. Those dollars are then recycled into domestic circulation as direct payments, the same money rebranded as patriotic cash flow. Sounds about right. This bypasses the Fed entirely. It is monetary easing through fiscal populism. So just a new way to look at what's going on right now. Looks like the chat is absolutely in love with your cat right there. We got the cat emojis. Drop a cat emoji if you like cats. I'm allergic, but I like them. I'll pet a cat even though I'm allergic to them. I like cats a lot.
She heard you talking.
Oh, really? Well, and I got probably 5 cats living on the prairie right now, and they get along with the chickens. So
no, like barn cats are great. Outside cats that are kind of domesticated, but they keep the mice and rats, and they keep a lot of the critters away. A lot of the stuff that wants to come after your chickens.
You know what? Take care of the kitties. And I will say this: we are coming up on the holiday season. I want to implore everyone, if you are part of a church or if you are part of any sort of charity organization, there's a lot of kids that their parents have gone through really, really shitty recession for the middle and lower class. And there's a lot of kids out there that don't have the outlook of gifts being available for them. And if you do have the ability, I do implore you to donate gifts to your local church, your local charity, to make sure kids have a little bit of holiday happiness, a little bit of holiday spirit. A little bit goes a long way. And if everyone moves together and just does a little bit of work, you can really make a tangible difference. Angel Tree, shout out to Blasnick. I took my kids out to our church, and great festival. We donated a bunch of gifts, and I'm super excited about it. We're sponsoring a couple kids, and it feels really, really good. My kids are excited about it, and the less that I give my kids, but then, I don't want to overload them with gifts, but a couple good gifts is all they need. My wife's cat's my favorite. A lot of people like cats. A lot of kids, parents. Oh, Jesus.
They're just so chill, dude. It's like I had a dog, and he's living with my neighbors now because their dog got eaten by a mountain lion, and they have kids, and the mountain lions will stalk kids that are outside playing.
Yeah.
And so he went over there, and he's been living with them for a while now. But dude, it's just like cats. You feed them, give them a warm place to sleep, and they're just like super mellow. So yeah,
absolutely,
definitely better.
Cats are nice. Cats are nice. I will say I like cats. It's just I'm a little allergic to them, so sometimes they tear me up. We will go check out why Bitcoin is dumping here real quick as well. It's not really dumping, but it looks like it's angling towards that CME gap. So let's go to BTC1 exclamation point and just check it out. It was a small CME gap, but it does exist. This is a dump for ants. Let's see here. So 104.2 to 104.5 is basically where that sets up. And this is where I am angling. I am slightly interested in taking a long position in. The short, it hit while we were watching the charts last night and early this morning. I just didn't take the short. But this 106.5 is definitely a resistance spot. And if we can blast past this 107.5 on spot chart, and on CME chart, it's at 108.5. It's $1,000 difference. That's where full steam ahead, the bull market full on. And, I'm feeling good about it. So I'll check out the head and shoulders as well for you, Sack Nasty, since you somehow made it back into my lawn. Let's see here.
Hey, real quick, Chris LeBron is asking where to buy CC coin. So if you're interested, the best place I've found so far is Kraken.
I downloaded Kraken to get access to it as well. I didn't see it listed on there yet, but I am. And you know what? I didn't have to sign up for Kraken. It's from the last bull market. I had an account. I just never really used it. Let's check out what you're talking about.
maybe it's like do they like match your first deposit? Because I deposited $100 just to test it out,
Mm.
and I all of a sudden had $200 in there.
Oh, really? I don't know. I haven't seen that. Now I'm looking around. I'm snooping around for what you're talking about. So this is the Head and Shoulders, and we already played this price action out, Zach. So this is the measurement from the head. You go to the shoulder line, and it fell basically to a T right to that target. Found support here, and then a massive amount of people were assuming the market is over. Now, I think I got to go back to this video that Kelly laid out. I think this bull market is actually more connected to the business cycle in particular. I think it needs to be understood that we have been pumping up to $126,000 on Bitcoin in the midst of liquidity drying up on the business cycle end. Now we are at extreme lows for where the business cycle has ever been. And this time is, in my opinion, structurally different. I will stand on that. Hence why I deployed more capital into some projects last night. I even bought some Bitcoin, bought some nanonuclear energy as well. Not the CC coin you're thinking about. We should get an interview with Coins Chick though on that whole debacle.
That's CCC. This is
Yeah.
CC.
Yeah. So Canton and Network is what me and Vet are talking about here, and he's always watching real world assets very, very closely, and obviously I tried to as well. But he gave me a call last week about something that had popped up on the radar on RWA.xyz, and if you just go down, you can see Canton Network is coming out of the gate swinging with $407 billion in total value. And then also another one.
Only one customer.
That's one customer. Right. The amount of customers is kind of terrifying that this project has. I think actually now that we're talking about this, I'm going to bring it up. So, you should have just watched this video. Okay. You can help me out by watching the damn video, because I go through everything that's there. But here, if you are asking, we're live. I love you guys, and I'm glad we're here. Let's look. So Goldman Sachs, Microsoft, Deutsche Bank are all actively testing on this network already. So seeing that, I took a massive interest in it. I will pull up a couple other tabs here, because this is actually one of the more important ones for this, and why I'm interested in it is because we had that Aptos fake out. Do you remember that when Aptos showed a massive increase, and then it all left overnight on RWA.xyz?
I actually don't.
So that happened, and it made me skeptical, right? It made me skeptical. So I went to Canton Network on the ICO Drops site here just to look at who's invested in this. And I wanted to actually pull the full list here. So the investors are Goldman Sachs, IBM, Circle, Salesforce, Seven Ridge, a couple other ones that mean stuff. Blackstone, a subsidiary of BlackRock, BMP, Citadel, City Ventures, CME Ventures, Deutsche Börse, or Deutsche Bank, essentially, DTCC. This is a tiny company, or tiny organization, DTCC, for those that don't know. And then JP Morgan, Paxos, the list goes on. So I was like, okay, the bigs are in, right?
Well, this thing is purpose built for institutions. So natively, natively on chain, they have all the compliance built in, they have all the interoperability built in, and they have the privacy built in.
Right.
So it can actually connect siloed entities. So,
and that's what the institutions want. They don't want shit to be transparent. They really, really don't. They don't want a free and open market.
Reason why I'm not bullish on XRP.
Yeah. But you have been very, very loving in your approach to XRP's tokenomic pressure that it can experience, even with a vast adoption, essentially, I will say. And have you had anyone really listen to you about that yet, Bet? Or has it just been...
I occasionally have people reach out to me and thank me for for kind of educating them, and they don't necessarily sell all their XRP, but they deleverage because they sit in those echo chambers, and I did the same thing when I held it. There's certain channels that speak about nothing but XRP, and they're very bullish, and and you sit in those echo chambers, and you start to believe it. You start to believe it's going to $100 or $1,000. And so I start breaking it down for them and explaining. And I won't go into it and waste time here, but yeah, no, they reach out and they're like, "Hey, thanks for opening my eyes to what's actually going on with Ripple, XRP, RLUSD, and all those things."
It is a good bellwether for retail interest, though. I absolutely will say that, like retail interest driving this largely. And retail woke up this morning. They're pretty excited about, the government reopening, liquidity coming back, and XRP is up 8% on the last 24 hours. So it's not doing bad. It is on my watch list because I forgot to sell a bag of nearly 1,000 of them, annoyingly.
Well, people will make money off of it.
I've made money on it. Like I bought it for 17 cents. It's not that I don't hate XRP.
Yeah, BZ Fat Cat. I mean, I've actually been chatting with him for years, like back in Good Morning Crypto. I used to be in the chat with him all the time back when I had my 40,000 XRP. We don't hate XRP. We're just real about the fundamentals of XRP. And you have to change your thesis if the utility changes. And RLUSD, like it or not, replaced a lot of XRP utility on the XRPL to move value.
As a long-term, like I've been holding XRP for I don't even know, since like 2019, 2018. That was aggravating for me to see a mechanism made within Ripple's confines that essentially took the long-term outlook of it away. That aggravated. So, I still got a little bit, but Green Day Profits has a good point here. There's almost 300 people here, and the likes are only in the 70s. You better increase that activity for me, guys. Get that movement going. Now, in terms of Bitcoin dominance, I argued a little bit with Bitcoin or Ben Cowan. I almost called him Bitcoin Cowan. It looks like dominance is actually weakening. So this is a good thing. I will check it out just really quickly on the here's Ben Cowan's post as well. Bitcoin dominance gone up 8 weeks in a row. This looks a little floppy. This looks a little weak to me. So I let him know. Looks a little weak there, boss. Let's go check out how Bitcoin dominance is doing so far this morning. BTC.D. And let's go to the weekly.
Kraken is not liking me depositing stables for some reason.
Oh, really? Okay. This still looks weak. This still does look weak. And, where I could see the next move happening to in the short term is 55%. I don't think it's going to blast up and beyond here. I think Bitcoin's price is going to go up, but I think altcoins are going to have a little bit of love. Solana ETFs, you got the ETFs for XRP coming out. I think those ETFs are actually going to help a little bit with this, but I think that essentially what we're looking at is boom, boom. I think this is going to happen in Bitcoin dominance. That's what I think.
What do you think is going to finally set these? I mean, if they're going to take off, I mean, what do you think is finally going to make alts and this cycle that we're all been waiting for happen?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of factors that people aren't taking into in terms of bullishness. We have the end of quantitative tightening, which, and as I said at the beginning of the show, we have had a disgustingly horrible business cycle for the last 2 years, nearly 3 years, where money has just been going down and to the right in terms of business liquidity and injection. We've seen housing of money in gold, and Bitcoin still performed 126 in a terrible environment for liquidity moving into risk assets and or Bitcoin. So we have that going on. We have the stimmy check thing going on. We have adding to the Federal Reserve balance sheet as well. They say it's not quantitative easing. It really is. It's adding to bank balance sheets, doing repos, things of that nature. And really the time frame for, I've said this, and it's been a very hillbilly thesis for a long time, but I still believe it to be true, is that BlackRock is not going to allow us 4-year cycle maxis to outtrade them. I don't think that is the case. It's just been something that I've felt in my heart for a very long time, and I'm standing on that hill. I stand on my business, and we'll see if I'm right or not. But look at this. This is kind of interesting. Copper is set for a historic shortage next year. So this might be something we got to look into, Mr. Mike. Copper market is expected to face its most severe deficit in 22 years in 2026, down 590,000 tons, according to Morgan Stanley. Deficit is expected to widen by 2029 to a whopping 1.1 million tons. This comes as the global annual copper production is on course to contract for the first time since COVID. A major production disruption has impacted mines worldwide, with operational issues for several major mining sites exacerbating supply constraints. At the same time, demand for AI data centers and electric vehicles is expected to outpace supply. This is something.
Dude, I know a lot of people that have been investing in copper, like, you know,
Yeah.
people invest in gold and silver, you know,
Yeah.
like actual physical copper.
Mhm. Absolutely. I mean, we should get some. I want to find the right copper Wall Street holds and hold some into like 2026, 2027, and start to diversify into more stock positions as well. But it's a great time to be alive. Also, this side note, I'm going to be talking to someone that's very polarizing this week. But here's this. So the Steve Baker and Joe Henneman article was published below, alleging the identity of the January 5th, 2021 pipe bomber, suspect a Capitol police officer on the day, and later moved into an armed role with the CIA. And the FBI potentially covered this up. You remember that pipe bomber story, Mr. Vet?
Yeah.
Looks like it might have been a cop. And they moved that cop into the CIA.
Really?
Yeah, that's fun. Little side note for us to be paying attention to.
Yeah.
Also,
We
this.
we won't go down that spicy rabbit hole.
Not right now. Not right now. South Korea special prosecutor is also indicting former President Yon for allegedly aiding an enemy state. There's a little bit of things happening there. And vagrants, people that don't necessarily have a place to hang their hat in Portland, have been able to build entire homes on beachfront property with basically things that people have left behind. Portland looking like a little bit of a battleground state, as well as, unfortunately, Minnesota. With the influx of new demographic in Minnesota, it is becoming basically unrecognizable. Hello, Crypto Princess. Good to see you. Hello, everyone. Now, as this time of uncertainty unfolds in front of us, and yes, there are projects like this Canton Network. I want to get me some. It's falling right now. Price go down. Price number go down. This is the first day it's been out. I think the fact that we see organizations like Saks, Microsoft, and Deutsche Bank actively moving on this thing, it came out of the blue on RWA with this level of movement, definitely has my ears. Now, also on that is Providence. I think that's our next move here, is diving into Providence. Have you done any digging around on Providence yet?
Not yet. It's actually on my to-do list today.
Yeah, we should absolutely dig into it and do some deep dives.
Right.
These things are new. They're being released right as market participants are giving up. There is no alt season, right? There's nothing going to happen for alts. So I'm making a move on them. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm making a move.
That's how big money moves, is, you know, they FUD people out. You know, look at this hand over here, you know, pay no attention. You know, we got a government shutdown going on. We got wars, you know, over here, look over here. And then over here, they're stacking and they're building.
Yes, absolutely. And
it's what they always do, man.
Just assume PSYOP. Assume lies and assume PSYOP, and that is how I operate. Well, it's a beautiful day to be alive, you guys. If you guys are interested in making music with Suede AI, I do implore you. I got a link in the description. You can click that link. Very cool team. Very cool information that you can find there, and I love it. I also like building out my Solana auxiliary plays on these ETF staking mechanisms. Very, very small projects. We have a link to our Discord. I did the upgrade to the portfolio, added some positions to it. Good to see it. Deucey Does Crypto. Good to see a lot of old names in here.
Hell yeah,
Deucey
you got Shake,
Does.
you got Seth, you got Nicole, you got all the peeps in here, all the OGs. Crypto Princess.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely. Love you guys, man. It's good to see you, and it's good to be back on the basement. Last week was a little bit crazy. I haven't checked my email in a year and a half, and I have checked my email, and apparently I've been doing a good job, right? So there's been a lot of things I had to deal with, and some really big things coming for Discover Crypto for the blockchain basement that I have in the works right now. I'm super excited about. But I do, as I leave you guys here, please do help your local community. People have ran into job replacement pretty heavily over the last year and a half. Have a heart for your people that don't have gainful employment right now. If you have the means, please go help out your local church. your local charity, and put some smile on those kids' faces. Absolutely.
When's that badass interview that you're doing coming out?
So it looks like it's going to be happening tomorrow.
Okay.
And
the
then
interview's happening tomorrow, or you're launching?
interviews happening tomorrow, and then I'm going to edit it up and make it all fancy, because you know what? The guy I'm interviewing has not had a fair shake from any media organization ever. So I am going to be the first objective journalist that goes in and gets his true story and gives him a fair shake. This person is going to be in history books for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. As long as the American Republic stands, this person is going to be remembered. For good or bad, very polarizing person, is going to cause a lot of emotions. And I do implore you to pay attention to that. Absolutely. It's not Nick Fuentes, Laserface. Jesus, hold on. Hold on.
Although Nick
and you're deported.
Sorry, it's been a while since I've been able to use that button. Go ahead, Mike. I gotta do something real quick.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, Nick will be remembered forever.
Yeah.
He's
an
OT from the basement.
Oh, Nick Demandi, yeah. No, I try to get him, he's got a lot of things going on with movies and stuff like that. Understandably, he's a busy man. You gotta think about where he's putting that energy into. So the door is always open. The door is always open. Mike, thank you for joining me on this show today.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful Monday. The world is alive. The sky is shining. And you know what? Do not make decisions based on fear. The worst decisions you can make as an investor, as a father, as a husband, are all based on fear. Do not fall into that fear chasm. I do not operate from a position of fear. I operate from a position of strength and surety. I have my thesis. I move on those theses. And if you have the same conviction, if you believe that the market's over, move with your conviction. If you think that this market is actually more tied to the business cycle and the bull market hasn't even really started, operate off that thesis as well. It's all up to every single one of you to make your own choices for yourself. I am just simply a person doing this in public so you can see my losses, my wins, and my long-term expectation for where the United States, the American Republic, is headed over the next 10 years. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Take care. And you know what? Help your kids. Help the kids in the local community. I do implore you. And with that,
it's the art of the deal. I'm here to reveal thick bass, rumbling truth. I unseal government lock. They playing games with the block. Democrats in the kitchen, stirring the pot. Shut down like a factory. Gears ain't turning. Pelosi's got the script, but the page is burning. Insider moves, stock tips churning. Husband in the shadows, profits confirming. Running the clock, but the clock don't tick. Filibuster funk, they tricks too slick. Caught in the act, receipts don't miss. Paper trails longer than the grocery list. Shut down, show down. They can't keep the crown. Inside the trades got the streets breaking down. Shut down, show down.